Welcome again. There's going to be a link down below. Oh, we better blur his face. Link down below in the description box to credit where I got this article from Inside the Ropes. But I mean, we probably have all watched the episode of Monday Night Raw on March the 25th. Remember, there's no script, so sometimes it's like, oh shit, I hit the record button. I'm like, what the hell am I even going to say? Where CM Punk cut a promo on Drew McIntyre and he referenced Vince McMahon without actually saying his name, because in the early goings of Drew McIntyre's career, he was called the Chosen One by Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And that's why in the ring it was so funny. At least I thought it was a stroke of genius. What a gotcha moment when basically CM Punk looked at Drew and said, "Who chose you? Huh? Who chose you? What was his name, huh? You got the balls to say you're the chosen one, so then tell me what paragon of good virtue chose you, because it wasn't the good people of Chicago." And it just left Drew like, oh, you little bastard, because it was great. You didn't say his name. Imagine being so sensitive, and this kind of goes back to the video I just made a few minutes ago, actually, in regards to The Rock and Cody Rhodes backstage brawl on the same night, March the 25th, 2024. Did they go too far? Oh my God, he said the F word. CM Punk said dipshit. What is going on here? All this trashy talk. It's like it's one word here and there. 20-minute promo and he says an F-bomb once. Like, seriously, get over it. Here, we didn't even say his name. What is the big deal? Just because you're considered now to be a disgraced former CEO and TKO and WWE are going to all lengths to remove and disassociate themselves from Vince McMahon. Like, imagine having to walk on eggshells and you can't even say his name. So then you don't say his name, you reference to him in a very, very strategic manner. Everybody knew what he meant. And yet it still drew criticism. Even here, they were like, oh my God, we were therefore in shock to hear CM Punk make a clear reference to McMahon. It's like, it's really not that big of a deal. It isn't. What he's alleged of doing is a big deal, but just because you say his name, because you show his picture, it doesn't mean that you support was what he's been supposedly found guilty of. I say supposed because I'm not the judge, jury, and the executioner. I mean, it's not looking good for him compared to Brock Lesnar, if I had to give my quick opinion on it. But it's not like I'm dipping into it really deep to see all the details there. And with the stuff going on with P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, whatever the hell his name is, it's wild. These things do happen. It's quite possible that he is guilty of, the things that he's being accused of. And I do understand that sometimes people get falsely accused. But that's not even the point of this video. Imagine just being that upset over the fact that he made a reference. Doesn't mean he likes what he did. Do you know what I mean? I made another video. I can't remember what the video was about, actually, to be honest with you. And I made a crazy, it wasn't a comparison. And somebody got upset and they messaged me and they said, what the hell? You really compared that? I think it was the Brock Lesnar thing, being censored from the game. I was like, when we make movies on World War II, we don't censor Hitler. And then someone said, oh my God, did you just seriously right now compare Hitler to Brock Lesnar? I said, no. Go and watch again. I'm saying even in an extreme circumstance like that, they don't blur him or erase him and shy from saying his name. It's a part of history, whether good or bad. Show the person, show the name, say their name. Doesn't mean you're praising them. That was the point I was trying to say. But there's always somebody that gets offended. You cannot pander and win everybody over. Doesn't matter what you say. I say I prefer Pepsi over Coke. People lose their shit. I say I prefer my PlayStation over my Xbox. People lose their shit. I say I am kind of preferring my Samsung Galaxy phone over my iPhone. People lose their shit. Jesus Christ, put on a diaper if you're going to lose that much shit. It's really not that big of a deal. It isn't. Again, what he's alleged to have done, sure, of course that's a big deal. It's disgusting. But what CM Punk did wasn't. And that's just a fact. That's not an opinion. It's also been stated by PW Insider Elite, which is supposedly fairly reputable, even though there was a line drew a hush backstage of people that were shocked to hear the reference. There was no fallout and absolutely no heat on Punk whatsoever for the reference, which goes back to what I said in my prior video a few moments ago about The Rock and Cody Rhodes. It seems like some superstars are allowed a little bit more creative freedom because generally promos, I mean, they're checked word for word, practically as to what is going to be said. And clearly, this thing here was not scripted. It was on the cuff, or he already knew in the back of his mind that he was going to say, but he didn't run it by, Triple H or anything like that, to which he would have said, let's say, no, and then he still goes out and does it. Then that would have probably created heat, right? But should you be shocked with CM Punk? Do you not remember his infamous, what was it, March 2011 pipe bomb promo? Like, come on now. It's really not that big of a deal. There's a lot bigger things going on in the world that are a big deal than just making a reference to somebody. Like, Jesus Christ. That's just my take on it. Like I said, I'm really loving. I'm starting to feel young again. Because we're getting some tastes of an era of wrestling that I preferred over the generic PG crap that we've been getting as of late. Again, this isn't about having to have an overlaced, profane, like vocabulary in your promos and constant blood every 15 seconds. Not what I'm saying, but what we witnessed in recent memory here. For me and many others, it's going to be great. Naturally, for some it isn't, but that's like anything. That is like anything on this planet. Obama won. Trump won. Biden won. It's always going to be divisive and divided. You're going to have about, roughly, give or take a couple, half that are happy and the other half that aren't. It's always going to be that way. You're never going to have a situation where just everybody's on board. The new belt came out, then Seth got it. People were complaining, we want a heavyweight champion on each brand. Then you get it, but then they complain about what the belt looks like. The symbol is too big or too small. It doesn't contrast. Fuck, you can't win. Criticism, don't get me wrong, is valid, but it comes to a point where it's like you either enjoy the product or you don't. And if you think it's cringe, you think it's too much or not enough of something that you like, then don't watch it. It's really that simple. There are shows I don't like. I don't talk about them because I don't know what to say about them because I don't watch them. I wouldn't know what to say about them, but I've watched enough to know that I don't like the show. And so I don't keep going on about it. I don't even watch it. It's out of sight. It's out of mind. And I move on and focus on things that I do enjoy. I enjoy this. I enjoy AEW and other promotions as well, but unfortunately I don't enjoy the limited amount of time that I have per day to be talking and investing into wrestling. So I choose WWE as my main source of wrestling entertainment to talk about, because there's only 24 hours in a day. I'd need about 30 hours in a day for me to also cover the other promotions. And unfortunately, I don't. But once in a blue moon, if something big happens, I was like, oh shit, let's talk about that. Like Sting's retirement, or when Edge decided to go from WWE and go to AEW, and how some people, oh, you're a sellout, and people were complaining again. It's like, you were complaining that he was gone for years. He comes back. He's doing something that he enjoys. He's not trash-talking WWE. He left on a very, very good note and just said, you know what, I want to try something different. They gave me a good offer. There wasn't much that went on near the end with WWE. They didn't have much to offer me in terms of creativeness, storylines, and all that. So I went somewhere else. It's not that big of a deal. I mainly drink Pepsi, but once in a while I drink a root beer. See what I'm saying? Come on now. Choose your flavor. Favor your chosen flavor. digest it, piss it out, and forget about it. It's really not that big of a deal. Just like half the stuff I say makes no sense, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm just rolling with it in the heat of the moment. Maybe I do need a script. Otherwise, it's like, the hell did he just say? That made no sense. But it made sense to me. I'm just going to end it here. There. Wherever. I'm just going to end it. Wow, I need to get back to bed. Okay, so thumbs up. As always, if you liked the video. I'm probably not going to use this as my thumbnail. Just because I don't think it's a YouTube violation. I'm being very serious right now. I'm not trying to be funny. At what point does it become a violation of YouTube to show people like this? Like, what if you're like a news reporter, news channel like on YouTube, which I do. I talk about wrestling news and stuff like that. What happens if you have to talk about like a Harvey Weinstein or a Jeffrey Epstein, any of those big, nasty people, or like your Jeffrey Dahmers and all that, and you're making like an article on them and you're talking about them? You're not going to show, a bouquet of flowers in your thumbnail. Sometimes your thumbnail is going to have to do with, right, what you're going to be talking about. I'm just saying, I still don't know. Like, there's no there is a reference to him. I'm kind of tempted to put him, Punk, and Drew McIntyre, because they're the three people that are being talked about in the thumbnail. In the video, I mean. But yeah, it is kind of sad that sometimes I'm like, well, am I allowed to do that? Is that a violation? I don't know how that works. I really, really don't. I mean, I'm not employed by the WWE. But when it comes to stuff like that on YouTube, and YouTube can be very sensitive, it is really difficult to navigate that and figure out proper protocol when talking about potentially very sensitive subject matter and showing the people that are involved in it. I really don't know how that works. But me personally, I'm not one for censorship. Again, just because you're showing the picture, you're saying the name, doesn't mean that you're supporting and standing with the person that you're talking about. Thumbs up as always. If you like the video, it does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm in trying to make me more relevant in the search results, and people are looking shit up. Yeah. And if you didn't like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. We'll bend it in half, twist it, and I'll break that off in your end. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that'd be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And maybe, if I'm lucky, I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.